Okay, MegaWhale team, welcome back to our channel. Thanks for tuning into today's video. We're going to be doing an ICX analysis today, and we're going to be taking a look at the price action, talking about what has actually happened with the price, doing a full technical analysis, and speaking about our price predictions and what we think is going to happen to the coin in the future based on where Bitcoin goes. Before we get into our full analysis, head on down to the comment section below, click the pinned comment, and click join our free Telegram channel. Our Telegram channel posts daily trader signals, updates, market analysis, and a whole range of other variety of content that helps support your ideas in the market and share what I think is happening in real time. If you're interested in trading signals, however, you do have to join our VIP channel. Our VIP channel is over here with nearly 500 members, which is going great. We have post daily trade signals. We can see exact entries, exact targets, and exact stop losses. We do updates to these trade signals as we go. For example, with Matic trade, we just reached 146% profit. That was only a few days ago. And you can see all our trading results in the free channel over here. We do over 500, around 500% profit a month on average. And you can see every single month since February 2022, we have been immensely profitable. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and dive right into the video. What we're looking at here is the ICX chart. And maybe a lot of you guys are new to the channel. Maybe a few of you have been around here for a few months. But if you do recall, our previous ICX analysis was posted, it would have been April. And we told you about this major support zone, which we see in the chart over here, this gray box. And we've said that this is going to be forming a major base of support. And if we lose that level, we're heading down to 32 cents. And we did lose that level, and we actually did reach 32 cents. So everything we said in the previous video held true. It went exactly as predicted. Now the question is, what is going to happen here? So before we get into the technicals, let's go ahead and define where the price is and what exactly is going on with the price. So first and foremost, before we get into it, these gray boxes, guys, I know there's only one on the chart so far. We'll add a few in a minute. These are support resistance ranges. These are zones that indicate massive support and resistance between two horizontal points. So between this horizontal price and this horizontal price. These red lines that you see on the chart here represent singular price points on the horizontal scale that represents major periods of resistance or support. So these are singular price points, or these is a range of price. So a little bit different. These are generally stronger. When you move through a resistance or support range, you generally have a continuation that is more aggressive, and vice versa. If you move between or out of or below or above, whatever, a smaller horizontal support resistance, you generally have a weaker impulse upwards or downwards or whichever way you break. So keeping that in mind when we're going forward. So what do we have here? Currently, we have a few supports underneath us. We have the 22.9, we have the 18.1 and the 14.8, quite low down there. Above us, we have 32.2. which is our same resistance and support we were talking about in our previous video 2 months ago. We're currently underneath the 32.2. Moving upwards, we have our major support resistance zone between 58 and 72. And obviously we've got a few minor ones in between there, which we'll go ahead and add in a second. So let's go ahead and add some more major resistance and supports. So straight away, we need to do one thing. We need to go ahead and bring up the VPVR. This will help us identify some of these ranges. We can go to a larger time frame. 3 days should be okay. We've got the major ones in. As you can see with these major ones in, we do have this period of support resistance kind of flips over here. So we'll go ahead and chuck that in. And that kind of lines up with this local top beforehand, which was this range over here. We can see it kind of lines up with this area. A lot of resistance at this area. We finally broke through that area. We had this gap that we kind of filled up into this point here, which is that level. And we kind of topped out around that level initially. So that's how we use that VRPV. So we've got that resistance in above us as well. So let's go ahead and talk about, we're not going to really talk about anything above this gray box for now, because it's a long way away, guys. It's a long way away. Let's focus on what it's going to take for us to get out of this range currently and push upwards back into this gray box. And then we'll talk about what happens after. So what would it take for us to really push upwards here? Before we do a technical analysis, just talking about market structures, we would need to clear this top over here. So this 43 range is a really important range for us to kind of flip some bullish momentum and see some potential opportunity to move upwards. We'll notice that this has acted as a very strong resistance basically for a whole nearly 2 years, guys, between 18 and 20, nearly 2 years. We had this one period of an immense breakout above there, instantly rejected back down. And again, when we broke out a second time, that's kind of when we propelled upwards. So we would like to see the price push upwards eventually and clear this range before we kind of started to think about any long-term bullish price action for ICX. Until then, it is looking pretty grim. So let's assume we break above that level. If we break above this level, we do need to clear through this major resistance range. If we break above that resistance range, we do have a chance to start reclaiming some of these higher levels. Of course, the next one will be around $1.71. So we do have this upwards gap on the market over here, but we do have a lot of major resistance before that even allows us to go upwards to that level. So there's a lot of resistance lower down on this chart, and as we start moving higher and higher and higher, there's less and less resistance. And this is quite a common thing with these 2017 coins. They generally have a lot of base resistance, but as you start breaking through its upper resistance levels, it really thins out in resistance, because there just really wasn't much historical action, price action, volume back in that early 2017, late 2000, early 18 range. There wasn't much volume. It really tanked right downwards really quickly, and there wasn't much volume around there. So we had these really strong resistances that are quite low down that are really challenging to break. And I can name like Icon, EOS, OneChain, these coins that are 2017 coins. They got these really strong bases of resistance, but when you break these major zones, they see these rapid rallies upwards. So let's go ahead and do a quick technical analysis, guys. And obviously, I don't need to say it. If we do lose this, 22.2 level, we do expect the price to head on down to that next support. If something like this happens, that's definitely possible. But let's go ahead and do a technical analysis. We'll get rid of some of these things. And the first thing I want to bring up for technical analysis is our momentum indicator, which is the relative strength index. Because this is going to kind of give us an indication of when is the best time to really buy Icon. And currently, if you're obviously holding Icon right now, and you haven't, kept up to date with our videos and such, and you haven't really been watching those videos, you wouldn't really have known when to sell, or you wouldn't really have known it wasn't a great time to buy. But you're here now, so that's all you can hope for. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So we have this downward trending resistance on the RSI as well as the price action here. I kind of want to make these a little equal. And as we can see, we have a few things that we can notably see. We have these points here on the chart, and we have this point over here on the chart. So a fake out occurs when we have either the momentum breaking upwards without the price, or the price breaking upwards without the momentum. That's when we have a fake out. So what we're looking for, guys, we're looking for a break of the momentum, the RSI breaking upwards, in conjunction at the same time, the price breaks upwards. When that happens, then we have confirmation that this trend has flipped and this downward resistance has actually broken. When that actually breaks, that would be when you're looking for more of a potential upside swing. Until then, you have to be cautious, because buying in this sideways zone, and it's very much a sideways zone right now. We don't really have much time. We don't really have a lot of distance between this downward trending resistance now. That's only really 2 months. It's going to be a lot of sideways action here. Maybe it goes up 20%, maybe it goes down 20%. You're not going to get a significant move, guys, in the next 2 months. It's probably very unlikely unless this downward trending resistance breaks. So waiting for this downward trending resistance to break, and we have confirmation of that when the RSI breaks, would be the best time to enter on ICX. So let's go ahead and take a look at the base of support. We can draw our base of support upwards, and we do have the same thing showing over here. All right, this is very much a falling wedge on the RSI. We have our points of contention and touching. We have obviously 3 points on the top side, and we have at least two touches on the bottom side, which means we do have in fact a valid falling wedge. So we do have this bullish consolidation. A bullish downward consolidation is a downward consolidation, but falling wedges are generally bullish. They generally lead to upward breaks. The question is, how high will that break go? That's a question that we can't really answer yet. My assumption would be it goes into the next major resistance. So if we do break out of this downward trending resistance, we can expect a move back up into this major range. All right. The question is, it's probably not going to happen now. It'll probably take a few weeks or even a few months to occur if the market facilitates that move upwards. But like I said already, guys, and if you've been following me, you'd know that altcoins massively follow Bitcoin, particularly when we're in a downtrend. It's even more exacerbated. They follow Bitcoin a lot. If not, they underperform the market as a whole. So we have to be very careful with altcoins at these particular points. So let's go ahead and take a look at some other analysis techniques, and then we'll go to the smaller time frame and talk about what's happening on the smaller time frame. Let's go ahead and bring up our Ichimoku cloud. So Ichimoku cloud is not looking shabby. It's not looking terrible. It's obviously not looking great at the moment either. And the reason it's not looking great is because we're underneath the clouds. We're underneath the conversion line, which is this blue line, and the baseline. I guess the lagging span is underneath the clouds too. So we've got all bearish signs you could possibly get from the Ichimoku cloud. It's all the possible bearish things. The only positive is that conversion line is coming quite close to the price here. We could see a potential entry popping up if we break above 32.2. Let's go ahead and take a look at on the daily chart though. And we can see over here, we had a potential entry point for ICX for a short-term scalp right over here on that breakout. and it did move up a little bit, but again, until it breaks these resistance zones, we're not really going to see any major move. What I would like to point out though, on the daily, one good thing is that these clouds are within this downward trending resistance, meaning that when we do break this downward trending resistance, if we do, we will have a clear break. It won't be a rejected break. It will most likely be a very clean break and will most likely continue upwards from that point. The only difference that we've seen on the previous instances is that when we break upwards, these clouds are above, with a lot of resistance above this trend line still. But now we're starting to see the resistance above this trend line is starting to fade away, which means when we do break out of that trend line, it'll be a little bit more of a smooth ride upwards, which is always nice to see. Remember guys, trading is not about always acting right now. And this analysis in this coin is a prime example of that. It is about planning potential moves in the future, having a game plan, and then applying that plan when the time comes. All right, you don't always need to be making a decision right now. You don't always need to be acting right now, but knowing what is actually going to happen, knowing potential opportunities and options makes you more equipped to handle with any scenario that occurs. Okay, so planning ahead is really important when it comes to successful trading. Otherwise, you get caught off guard and you get wrecked. So let's take a look at this bull market support band. We do have on the day, we'll zoom out in a second, we do have the price within the bull market support band. And again, when the price is within the bull market support band, it's a no trade zone. I'm not looking to enter here at all on a small time frame, waiting for that to clear. Let's go ahead and take a look back on that on the 3-day chart. And the price is still very much below that bull market support band. We would really like to see the price break above that bull market support band, as well as the resistance here to indicate a flip. And again, on the 7-day, you can see the bull market support band is underneath that major downtrending resistance, again indicating the significance that we do need to break over this downtrending resistance before we can see any kind of upward swing for ICX that is greater than maybe 20% or 30%. All right, if we're looking for a major move upwards, it's not going to happen yet. It is simple as that. Gaussian channel. Let's take a look on the daily. And the Gaussian channel isn't signaling much right now. Again, the Gaussian channel will tell us when to enter. It's not telling us when to enter now. It tells us when to enter when we have a break within Gaussian channel, or exit when we break within or below the Gaussian channel. So its points of entry and exit is when we kind of look for entry. We don't really have that yet. We're still quite a distance away from that point, so it's hard to say exactly what's going to happen. Gaussian channel will tell us when to enter though, and right now it's not telling us right now is a good time to buy. It's just telling us we're underneath, we're in a downtrend. It's going to stay like that until anything changes. So guys, so far so good. I'm not going to go into too much more for the technicals. I think that's cleared up the case very well. The summary of that is that right now is not the best time to buy ICX. I wouldn't expect a massive move from ICX until this downward trending resistance breaks. When the downward trending resistance breaks and we have confirmation, that is when you should be looking for an entry with your higher targets. All right. Until then, the risk of a downside collapse is still there, as the market is still adjusting to systematic risk. And if systematic risk continues to increase, altcoins will continue to bleed against Bitcoin while the total cryptocurrency market cap falls, and it kind of creates this environment where there really isn't much justification in holding or purchasing altcoins for a long period of time. If you're trading, completely different story. If you're trading altcoins, a very different story. You can trade day in, day out if you want to. Just holding is a little bit more risky, okay? And probably people in here are going to disagree with that, but that's the fact of the matter, guys. We look at the data, we look at the charts, we tell you what it is. We didn't lie to you at the top of 69K. We didn't lie to you when we said we're going to go to 24. We didn't lie to you when we said we're going to go 18. We didn't lie to you when we said it was going to go to 32 cents. We're just telling you guys, not our personal opinion. We're telling you exactly what the data is saying. I'm translating. Think of me like a translator. All I'm doing is translating what the charts are saying. I'm here to interpret it and tell you what it means. That's what I'm doing. All right, this is what the chart says. If you want to trade against the chart, that's a risk. Obviously, your charts aren't always right. That's a risk you take. But I would say I'm pretty confident in believing that the charts right now aren't suggesting any potential move upwards for ICX that is significant enough to counter the risk that you're taking right now. And just make sure you remember that. The entry right now, the risk reward ratio isn't favorable. So even if it could go up 10, 20%, the downside risk right now is still too immense to be looking for an entry for the long term for ICX. That is the way I see it. All right, let's take a look at a smaller time frame. So let's go 4 hours. What is happening in the 4 hours? Now, quite sporadic price action in here. We're going to go zoom out. So we had this, obviously some sort of rising wedge formation over here that we saw, and we obviously broke down to that rising wedge, which catapulted us down below that 32 resistance, which is currently acting as a major resistance. And this is what I mean by resistance support zones. If you go ahead and draw this horizontal ray in over here, we can see that this zone is in fact a resistance support zone. So we are actually touching resistance right now on that wick upwards here was a rejection, was a resistance wick. What is happening on the short-term time frame? Look, I'm not going to lie, this chart is quite messy. It's really hard to gather what's happening. If I had to assume something, we'd see some kind of uptrending support line over here. Let's go bring up the RSI just so I can see if I can confirm some of these lines on volume. And we do have confirmation over here, and obviously our base of support, which is over here. We can go ahead and draw that line, and we just adjust to these points. All right, so that looks a little bit more neat here. We did have this breakdown over here, which was, in fact, remember, a fake out. We got rejection over here, fake out because the price remained in that uptrending line. We only in hindsight could we confirm that fake out, unfortunately, but in fact, it was a fake out. So we have rising price. Let's take a look at volume, because rising price, decreasing volume, oh, wrong one, this is unbalanced volume, is obviously not a good sign. And I don't want to go into much the short term too much, because again, the short term isn't particularly the best at predicting the macro trends here. But just to give you an example of what's happening on the short term, we can see that volume is actually in fact decreasing. So we have this rising price, decreasing volume. We have rejections at major zones. I would assume that we're going to be heading downwards here. And the only way I could flip that is if we break upwards here. And if we break upwards here, then we flip more to the bullish side. Now, this is where it becomes interesting, is if we go ahead and take a look at the risk. So for example, if you enter now, right, your upside reward at a maximum is 8%. All right, because that's the upper resistance. At a minimum, or at a best case scenario, is a 5.3%. All right, and that's assuming it doesn't reject beforehand. Your highest risk right now is 23%. Your risk reward ratio is 0.23. So, and that is why I would say, even though there's a chance of going upwards now, your probability wise is against you, because the technicals are suggesting down, but also risk reward rise, it is a poor investment, because you're losing more than you're possibly going to make. So even if you make 5.3%, you technically risked 23%. So not only one of those wins would cover not even 25% of a loss like that. And that is all trading. Trading is a risk reward. If you can manage your risk over time and make more profit than you lose, then you obviously turn profitable, you make money. So this is not a kind of trade I'd be looking at entering. I'd be very against that trade. In fact, I would probably short that. The only reason I wouldn't short it was I like to short with a little bit of leverage, and 8% risk is a little bit too high for me personally when it comes to shorting, but I would be looking to short. So short-term time frame, guys, I do expect a breakdown over here. We did have a glimmer of weakness. This was a glimmer of weakness. All right, it wasn't confirmed weakness. We didn't have momentum drop, but we had a glimmer of weakness. We can see that momentum is starting to converge downwards while our price is still relatively pushing upwards. So what does that mean? Bearish divergence, obviously, not looking too great. Price will probably head downwards, all right? That's about it for the ICX analysis, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope, if not, I don't know how many people are watching this when it comes to ICX viewers. I know a lot of my viewers aren't ICX followers, but a lot of the viewers today are probably going to be ICX followers. So I hope you don't take this as, I would say, negative feedback to your investment. Try look at it constructively. Try think about what I'm saying. Try look with an open mind, because at the end of the day, guys, investing is a bit more than just chucking your money in a coin hoping for the best. There's no intrinsic value in altcoins right now. It really isn't. I'm not going to lie to you, there's no intrinsic value. A lot of it is speculative. And when the market is falling, when interest rates are rising, all right, when inflation's rising and you have your systematic risk increasing, money will flow out of these risk assets. And that's why we're seeing altcoins drop so drastically. If you want to find more information about that, just go ahead to my channel, guys. And there's a video I posted a few days ago back, and it was this one over here. The only video you need to know to understand how how inflation and shit impacts crypto. Watch that video, get a little bit more understanding about what we're talking about. Anyway, I hope today's video was great. We're going to go ahead and introduce Bitget, and if you want to trade where I trade, if you want to really trade on the exchange I trade or the methods I use, go ahead and sign up to Bitget. Drop the link below, and then the Crypto Academy, of course. And if you enjoyed the video, consider liking, consider sharing. And if you got any comments or you got any queries or questions, or if you want to inject your own thoughts and opinions, do it down below, but be respectful, guys. Of course, sometimes going against what people want to hear, you get a lot of backlash for it. At the end of the day, guys, I'm just trying to help you. So if you got any questions or queries, if you disagree, just tell me why you disagree. Maybe provide some resources or evidence to why you think it will go the other way or whatever. But we have confirmed that we think the price will either go sideways or downwards here. The entry is not the best time to enter. We'll wait for that macro downwards resistance to break, and we have positive momentum and volume before we look for that entry. Okay, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Okay, guys, so we're going to take a look at Bitget next, and I highly recommend signing to Bitget. This is where I personally trade. So if you want to be trading where I trade on a daily basis, sign up to Bitget. In the comment down below, you'll see the referral link. Just go ahead and click that. You can sign up and you get access to our reward center if you sign up. And there's a whole range of things you can do here to basically get rewards. And the rewards bonus is up to $4,163 which is pretty significant. But you can go ahead and get access to that if you click the link down below. Beyond that, guys, I really do like Bitget Exchange. I'm not just saying that to shill you guys a referral link. Honestly, sign up without the referral link. I don't care. I'm honestly telling you guys 0.02% trading fees is just too good to miss. You just really can't miss it. It's 0.02%, guys. It's insane. But this is the futures over here, and it's a global exchange that doesn't have KYC, so anyone can access this from anywhere in the world and get access to all the tools. So whether you're in Australia and you generally can't access futures, you can sign up here and get access to futures. If you're in, let's say for example, I think the UK and you can't get access to futures, you can sign up here and get access to futures. If you're in America and you can't get access to Binance or Binance Global and you can't access a lot of their spot trading pairs, they have all the spot trading pairs that Binance has over here plus more. They have over 250 spot trading pairs and all the big ones on this exchange that you can trade, and the liquidity is quite high. So I highly recommend signing up here, and of course, like I just mentioned, you get access to that reward center, there's copy trading, there's a whole range of other things, and go ahead and sign up, guys, because it really is probably the best exchange out there. All right, let's go ahead and get back into the video. Okay guys, I want to take a quick moment to introduce the Become a Trader course at the end of this video. This course was designed by myself and Wolves of Crypto. We put together a whole variety of knowledge to create the most cohesive, understandable, and beneficial trading course there is on the market. If you're interested in learning how to become a trader, if you're interested in learning how to use technical analysis, if you're interested in learning how to apply market analysis to different cryptocurrencies, this is a course for you. We teach you everything from the fundamentals, the basics about what cryptocurrency is, how to trade cryptocurrency, mastering the craft of cryptocurrency, diving into a whole range of technical indicators, market structures, and teaching you how to utilize these when finding trades and applying risk management strategies to become more profitable over time. We even dive into market psychology, human psychology, and provide a variety of different videos and educational content, including courses and quizzes to assist your learning along the way. If this is something you're interested in, guys, go ahead and contact us down below at the cryptoacademycourses@gmail.com. We'll send you an email back with all the course information, the structure, the payment details, and everything else you need to know. That being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video today, and we'll catch you in the next one.